so I was considering making a little bit more of a trek for today's leg day out to American Barbell. It's really cool over there, but I think I might just stick closer to home and just rock. I was about to say roll and rock up, and just roll up to a little bit of an anytime, which I'm pretty spoiled because the one that's close to me is big. Like they've got goodness, like they've got what's it called? Monolift, multiple different kinds of leg press, regular sled, and kind of a pendulum-y sort of hip press. My only problem with that one is it's you kind of have to do one leg reps because the two individual like pads are each individually loaded, and it's just you can't really do both at once because if you sit there and you try to load both plates at the same time, it's like any inconsistency in your balances, your quads or whatever, it's like I think amplified. Like obviously you can do a set of dumbbell curls with two dumbbells at the same time, that's cool, but something about the leg press is just too much. So it's like balancing the force between the two just doesn't really work, you know. But either way, I want to do some reasonably heavy, or at least reasonably heavy quad work. So hamstrings will start off pretty much the same as normal. There's only so much you can do anyway. I'm talking laying curls, seated curls, and then a hip hinge. I might try to branch out and do a different hip hinging variation, but the laying curls and the seated curls usually do 70% of the trick. And then that stretch focused hinge, that's just like a cherry on top. But yeah, quads I want to make more of the main focus. So a few sets of leg extensions to kind of start, both serving as a warm-up and as primer sets, and then really just go from there. There's a couple of there's a few sled leg presses where they're plate loaded, or stack loaded, so that makes it a bit easier to do some kind of drop set if I feel. But really, I guess we'll just have to see. Haven't drank the pre-workout yet because I want to be fully caffeinated by the time that quads is actually starting, because hamstrings isn't necessarily the primary star of the show for this leg day. Of course, I want them both to be balanced out, but I'm thinking a bit more quad emphasis. Oh. 9, yeah. Jeez. Got cars on fire up here. I was about to say let's just get in there, but now let's do a little bit of reporting, see what happened. Shit. Well, either way, quads are going to get pumped up, and not purely from leg extensions. And the reason I say that is because I think I've been doing too many leg extensions. You know, I'm talking just way too many sets of squeezing reps, which are good. I'm certainly not saying they're not, but I really think I've been missing out on some more of that pressing stimulus. But now I'm getting too distracted to even talk about the working out. Holy shit. Looks like a black Jeep absolutely engulfed. Well, no flames, really all smoke. Oh. Well, not a crash, so I'm sure everybody's all right. But hopefully they weren't on their way to go do a leg day, because that would totally put a fucking bummer on my mood if, you know, the Camry suddenly just burst into flames. But odds are they already finished their lift. They're coming home for a post-workout meal, and they're not in a rush, right? Because that anabolic window of your post-workout meal, come on. It's not that pertinent. Or if you don't get your post-workout meal in, you know, within 30 minutes, that the workout is now suddenly useless. Don't worry if you got to wait a little bit longer. But either way, enough random chatting. Let's get this leg day started. I am warm. I camped out on the adductor machine. That's one where you squeeze your legs together. Nothing crazy, like not working sets, but enough to be warm. And then the only warm up for hamstring curls is do light hamstring curls. Then go a little heavier, a little heavier, a little heavier until I reach a point where I'm like, okay, now I'm feeling fresh. I can really go for a hard set, not worry about pulling anything. So let's do a quick opener with the stack. And even though I say the stack, like these are going to be pretty controlled, methodical reps. Now they might get nastier as these sets progress, but that's for me to think about later. Oh my god, okay. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay, I lied. One more with some self-assistance. And then maybe, let me think about it. Oh my god, okay. Okay, let's move on. Jeez, those really hit me. There might not be even that much energy in the tank for too many more sets. But let's pick something new. I have reason to believe a laying curl will be a good addition or a good placement for this next set. So, in a change of style, this one will be lighter, squeezing, a bit more torturous. Frankly, I think I have an easier time doing really heavy sets like that, because for me to like exert maximum effort in a short time period in these sets, not that hard. Like I can do it pretty consistently. It's where I gotta sit and do like a light squeezing set and really burn it and like, because I can still physically do reps, but the reps are getting physically more uncomfortable each one. So I think that's one of my, not like a huge weakness, but probably something I want to make sure I add more of in these sets. So that's the plan here. Minimal swinging as well. Yeah, there we go. You know. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I think one more like that. And I think that'll be it. Move on to quads. Oh my god, okay. Oh, man, those heavy sets of seated curls did more of a number on me than I expected. Good first portion though. Let's move on to quads. Knees feel good. Let's make this first one a little heavy, a little on the heavier side. Not crazy heavy, but the equivalent weight would be the stack with both legs. So about half for one, nothing too crazy. But I want to totally burn out the left side and then the right side. Sometimes I like doing like 5 reps, then 5 reps, then 5, then 5, kind of, creeping up towards fatigue in increments on both legs at once. But just to, keep from doing the same thing on repeat every lift, let's do a regular straight single leg set. And these will be a little nasty. I'm not going to hold the squeeze for a full second. Yeah. Yeah. So. Okay. I think just one more, and then I'll be ready for some kind of press. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's go press something. The leg press might have been a bad choice. So I was kind of hyping this gym up, plates, machines, like machines, like it's big. Not enough plates. Not enough freaking plates. But after kind of sourcing most of them, this will be okay. It's like 10-ish, which 10 is well within reason. I'd be going really crazy if I had like 13. But let's get some kind of song going and go nuts. 20 reps would be crazy here. That'd be good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. 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 Okay. I think 20 was an overestimate. That's good though. Let's do one more. And then I might just move on to something else. Still a press, but I might do at least a few different presses. Oh. That was good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's move on. Another press, but I think one that's a little lighter than this. This might be a little too heavy. Oh, shit. Let's just jump straight to this leg press. And these are going to be quicker reps. I'm talking speed. Now, speed within reason. Like, obviously, I'm not going to try to do jumping reps or anything. But I do want to pump them out a bit quicker than the ones on the plate-loaded press were. There we go. Okay. Oh my God, okay. Cool. Okay. All right. Oh, I think that's enough. Let's friggin' roll. Ooh. Okay. I think that was what, yeah. A little bit more than 10 plates on that leg press was probably a little bit too crazy. But
still very pumped. And those two sets of the lighter leg press, real quick like, those really put the finishing touches on. I'm talking fully cooked top to bottom. So now let's just see how they're looking. Fully pumped. And it was kind of cool for that last set. I was kind of like holding the sides of my legs, and I could really feel the separation of quad to hamstring. So I might have to start doing these leg days in shorts just to get a glimpse at what's really going on under the scenes. But that's kind of what I like about the pump cover. And I guess you wouldn't call pants a pump cover, but on a leg day, they certainly serve the same purpose because it's just keeping me from getting distracted by seeing how my quads look. So let's taper in the shirt, shrink the waist, and see how these things are looking. Oh my gosh. So that's what I'm aiming for. This separation, this line right here of hamstring to quad, which, yeah, I mean, we're definitely fucking getting there. There's a very clear distinguishing line between them, which should only get freakier as these lifts progress into this dieting phase. Because obviously the leaner I get, the less fluff there is in there, taken away from those striations and everything else. Yeah, something along these lines. Oh my gosh. Oh, but all right. Quads pumped to shit. And I think even though I was trying to say that I wanted quads to be the star of the show with today's lift and go a little easier on hamstrings, those hamstring sets, especially the heavy ones on that seated curl, did more of a number on me than I expected. So I think if I actually had to grade at least which one was more pumped by the end of it, shit, man. I mean, they both got at least an A minus, maybe a B plus, right? Obviously, I've had crazier pumps, especially considering I've only eaten 50 grams of carbs today. But given the circumstances, yeah, I'd say 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. But hamstrings was ahead just by a hair. Just by a freaking hair. So I think that concludes legs. Let's do a couple Q&A. Let's do some Q&A questions. I'll just I'll post that in a minute and then read some of the first ones. So kind of an early bird gets the worm situation. I'm probably not going to answer any questions that extend beyond like 10 or 15 minutes of that post. So lucky you if you well, I guess you would have seen this in the past. But let's get in the car.
All right. Good lift. I'd go so far as to say even very good lift. So about 10 or so, actually no, only 7 minutes ago, posted a little YouTube post with Rocky and Rio, the two cats, saying Q&A in a couple of minutes, and I was not joking. So that's first comment. Bach Taya, whatever, 9192 just said hi. It's got 2 likes, so hey there. But now the first question, how are the cats doing? Cats are doing pretty good. Cats are doing pretty much freaking dandy, right? Just scurrying about, causing a little bit of trouble. Rocky, the black one, loves getting up on the counter and grabbing food whenever he can get his mitts on it. But other than that, no, they're doing pretty good. So, a lot of cat comments in the beginning. I've got the same cats as you, says Bruce. Do I drink caffeine outside of the gym? Not really. It's like, what would you drink it outside of the gym for? You know, like I'll do it. I drink caffeine in the morning, like for right before cardio. But it kind of, I'm sure even if I wasn't doing my cardio, I'd still probably want some kind of something just to like wake up. But I mean, if I'm well rested, like if I got a good night's sleep, I don't really need any exogenous freaking caffeine. But for the purpose of working out, that's pretty much a staple. I don't, yeah. And that's not really any caffeine tolerance breaks either. Like I don't need, I'm not doing 600 milligrams per lift. I might, get up to like maybe 3 or 4 on a leg day specifically. But arms, chest, back, 200's been doing the trick. So not to completely flip your question around, Giga Maximus, but yeah, maybe try not to go too crazy with the caffeine. I think the only guys who really need a caffeine tolerance break are the ones who keep taking more and more scoops of pre-workout to the point where they might be doing a damn gram for an arm day, and it's like, I think you're missing out, you know. But let's keep moving on. Do I collect any trading cards? With all this is from Prody, II Prody. Do I collect any trading cards? With all the anime you watch, I thought maybe you'd collect some. One Piece and Dragon Ball have some really dope cards that resell for a lot. Thoughts on collectibles? Do I collect anything? And I hope your Monday is going well. Thank you. I hope your Monday is also going well. But collectibles, not, yeah, not for a while. Seems like kind of a rabbit hole to really get into. I mean, I've seen all the pack opening videos where everybody's looking for, an ultra hyper X rare. Everybody went through their Max Mofo phase. But yeah, nothing recently. When I was younger, though, that's when you would catch me with a couple of bins of, I'm talking mainly Bakugan and Beyblades. Those are probably the ones I got into the most. And those are also probably the ones I got into the most trouble with. I remember the last day at one of the last days of like an early elementary school or something. One of our teachers, I don't remember her name, basically had gathered everybody's stuff into a box for the end of the year. Right? Obviously, if you're in class, you can't have a Beyblade on your desk. They're gonna swipe it from you. Way different from now. I mean, everybody's just playing on their phones. You can't really take some kid's phone away for a full year. But back then, which sounds kind of funny for me to say back then, but that was the shit, right? So I remember it was the last day, and she basically went through this little box full of, at the time, may as well have been gold, and said, "Oh, who's this?" I don't remember the name, right? But the Bakugan were cool as shit, So she'd hold one up. It was like a teal kind of turtle-looking one or something. She's like, "Whose is this?" Every kid says it was theirs. I don't remember how that got solved, but I think probably nobody ever got them back. But yeah, not much in the collectibles things. Well, actually, that's not true. I guess you could say now I've got kind of a little bit of a camera / lens collection, but that's for, that's kind of got its own purpose. Arc Ranger 73003 says, if my muscles get slightly bigger by March, will the girl at the gym that just said she's not looking for a relationship after a bunch of great dates agree to date me, even though I will be leaving? Asking for a friend, of course. This is, I haven't read these before. I'm just scanning through them. Uh, I, not totally sure, right? I don't think we have to say this, but um, simply being slightly more muscular, that's not the whole package. There's a little more to it than that. But maybe it depends on the girl, right? If she's a fucking muscle freak, then if you get a bit beefier, that could change it for you, right? But how about the 4% female viewership? What would you guys say? I guess we can actually get straight to you. I don't think that really matters, right? It's not necessarily about how big you are. So if that's what you're lifting for, well, I'm not going to say don't go hard, but you might need to find a new source of motivation. At least if you want some kind of more tangible end goal. But you know what, Arc Ranger? I'll give you a solid maybe on that one. What's the best gym I've ever gone to? Asked Patrick 372's house. What's the best gym I've ever gone to? I don't know. I've been to a lot. I've been to gyms all over the place. I'm talking, Gold's. There's a Metro over there in California too. That was pretty cool. There used to be this powerhouse in Hilton Head. I think is that South Carolina or North Carolina? But either way, there was this crazy powerhouse. It was like grungy but still new school. Like, it was kind of cool. I've got some old pictures of me when I was working out there. I was like I was a strong 175 at the time. And I was really excited because our family was going to do another Hilton Head trip, like go down for like kind of a week, make it like a reunion type of thing with like our, my aunt and uncle and everything. And I'm extra hype because I get to go to the gym that I haven't been to in like 4 years, like take the same progress pictures in the mirror, and like see myself in the same spot now. Uh, Actually, yeah, well, I wasn't fully bulked at the time, but if I was fully bulked at the time, damn near 100 pounds heavier than I was back then. But it shut down. I don't think it. I don't think they made it through COVID, unfortunately. So instead, I ended up going to this different gym called. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was pretty cool. I did. I think that was one of the last gyms I did a 6-plate squat at, but I only got 3 reps. I totally overestimated my strength at the time. But the best gym I've ever been to, not sure. I mean, each one has its own sort of positives and negatives, but I don't think I could pinpoint one specifically. Right? The best gym I've ever gone to is the one that I just had a fucking solid ass pump at. And then the best gym I will ever go to is just whatever's next up on the roster. Let's keep scrolling. Genghis Khan when asks Flynn Bean 2595. I don't know, man. How about I'll wait for him to reach out to me? How about that? Let's see here. How long have I been lifting for? Asks Cool Man 6267. I'm talking. It's over 6 years now. I'm at about, I think, the 6 year, 3 or so ish month mark. Now, of course, I had done like some working out before with all the gymnastics training and stuff because they had us do conditioning, like a 30-minute kind of circuit-based workout, but nothing with weights really. That was mainly like pull-ups and leg lifts and stuff like that. So 6 years, 3-ish, maybe 4 months of like legit weight-based bodybuilding training. So that's yeah, shit. Doesn't feel like that long, but yeah, I guess these lifts freaking add up, man. Oh, could you give me your cats? Yeah, that's a strong no on that one, but thank you for asking. Well, maybe not thank you for asking. What are you talking about here? Self Devo, favorite triceps exercise? Eh, I gotta pick the rope extension. And that's actually changed. If you were to ask me that question a year ago, or maybe, probably just about a year ago or so, and you said, Sam, what's your favorite tricep movement? I would have said heavy straight bar pushdown, something like full stack, 3 plates slapped on the side of it, just as heavy as fucking possible. But no, I've been liking the rope much more because I can. It's just more of a. It's just a better set, Like if I go reasonable with the weight on a rope, especially in the beginning of the lift when I'm fresh, I can get such a hard contraction at the bottom that I think it's really built up my mind muscle connection with my triceps because I can really when it's fully squeezed, you do get a certain like burning sensation whenever you do any kind of like squeezing portion of a set. But triceps especially, I can feel like my whole long head down here like tense up way more than I used to, and definitely way more than on just a regular straight bar pushdown. So, yeah, I think the rope is probably where it's at for now. How much thought do you give to muscle protein synthesis windows? I've heard people talk about spacing out protein as being a game changer, but as far as I can see, you don't seem to be too concerned. I'm a little concerned, Stin Triple H, because just think about it. What would make more sense? Eating and taking things to the extremes, like one side or the other, is usually a good way to approach any kind of like generalized problem because it kind of at least shows you what side you lean to. So here's the two extremes, right? Should you eat all of your protein in one meal and have if you're a 200-pound dude, have 2 pounds of ground beef in one bowl for breakfast and then eat no more protein for the rest of the day? Or should you have let's assume that the quality of protein is the same. It's not, but let's just assume it. Or should you have like a gallon jug of a protein shake of your daily allotment of protein and just be constantly slowly sipping on that throughout the entire day? right? So I think somewhere in the middle is about right. Like when guys talk about how you can only absorb 40 grams of protein within a 2 hour window, I'm not necessarily insanely concerned there. Like if I have 60 in one meal, I'm not freaking. I don't think that extra protein is being somehow wasted. But especially right now, I mean, I want my food to be spread out reasonably so that I just feel more full. If I had one meal for breakfast and then I just fasted the rest of the day, that would suck. But in terms of the protein, I'd say usually maybe having a fifth of your daily allotment at a time, relatively evenly spaced throughout the day, is about right. So for me, that ends up being about 50-ish grams of protein every meal, which balances that pretty well. So I think that's about the sweet spot. Having 20% at a time, reasonably even throughout the day. But don't freak if you have like some extra chicken, or like if you went to B-Dubs and you got like 20 wings. Oh, I just had 80 grams of protein. I just wasted 40. It's like, I don't think it's that cut and dry. What's my opinion on Vinland Saga, says Isaiah Sartwell. I like it. I kind of, it's kind of like Attack on Titan, it, really cool in the beginning, very simple, but, as they thicken the plot and really change characters, it got a little, started to lose me, Like, that first season was so hype, and then, actually, no, was it multiple? Well, like, all I'm trying to say is I probably liked Thorkel versus Thorfinn a bit more than, Thorfinn basically just doing farm work for 5 episodes. But that's in the context of just like hype. It's a good show all around, but definitely took a twist I was not expecting. Can you go wrong with strong? Says Christian DeSandes. I would say no. I would say you probably can't go wrong with strong, that's for sure. Any tips on balancing sports and the gym in terms of when to bulk and when to cut, etc.? Now that's actually a good question, especially for anybody, high school athlete kind of guy. Like let's say you're doing, like you got football or wrestling or something along those lines. I mean, I hear it a lot. It's kind of a balance that you have to think about, because obviously, if you're about to do your football team's leg-based lift, you probably wouldn't want to hit your own leg workout the next day. So I'd say your best bet is probably just going to be finding a balance so that when you're doing their workouts and their specific exercises, you're not hindered by like, you doing like a max out squat the lift before, but, enough where you can still do your own stuff on the outside. Like, especially when I was doing, when I was diving in high school, because it was a bit more, what was I going to say? Well, I wouldn't want to do legs the day of, having to go bounce around on a diving board for an hour and a half, right? My legs would be totally shot. And I don't know if you know this, but if you're jumping up and down like basically 5 feet in the air and then landing on this springboard, if your legs give out and you just kind of crumple, you're going to have a pretty serious case of, I guess you wouldn't call it carpet burn, because the thing is literally like sandpaper. Like it's got like an 80 grit, maybe even a 50 grit sensation to it. But, it's just kind of balancing out, right? If you've got a football lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe make your main lifts the weekends and then Tuesday, Thursday, and, balance out rest as necessary. But if you've got like an actual in-season, off-season kind of thing, like I mean, football is not all year, right? That's just a fall sport, right? But obviously, let's say you're a football player in high school, you're going to want to be a little bit, well, now we're getting even deeper. It's going to depend on your position, right? If you're a receiver, you don't want to be fully bulked because you got to run around. But if you're a defensive lineman or something, then you want to have a bit more mass on you. So think about what your specific goals need to be, because obviously if you want to be like fast and agile, you want to be probably a bit more cut up and lean. But if you want to be more like bulked up and strong, then it might make more sense to be, fully bulked. So let's get a couple more in here. Have I ever read Vagabond? Not yet, but I will. Not yet, but I know that I will, because it looks pretty freaking cool. How can I bulk without getting fat? Says High Rev. That's a good question. And it's a question which can be answered reasonably simply, right? So for you to bulk up, what does that even mean? Right? I think it really just means you need to eat enough food to be gaining weight, right? So let's say this is the bar. You working out at whatever your workout schedule is, hopefully like 5, 6 times a week plus some rest days in there, then you need to eat this much food to maintain your build. Stay full, stay energized, so you can perform well in the gym. And you'll probably main gain very slowly over time. Like, I'm not knocking main gaining, especially for a year one, year two lifter. I don't think there's much need for an insane bulk because you're just going to grow from the training. But eventually, I do think there's a plateau to the main gaining where you do have to start to really, what's the word? I guess just make use of more calories. But let's say you got to eat this much to stay where you're at. Obviously, if you ate double that, you're not suddenly going to be twice as big. You're only going to really make use of this percentage of calories above your baseline, right? Baseline's here, your bulking calories should be here. You're going to make use of this much, right? That's going to be used for extra over recovery into muscle protein synthesis, right? Gains. But if you go too far over that, then all you're doing is really just putting on fat. So that's why or no, that's not why, but the last few bulking phases I've done, I've approached it a bit better, I think, because I used to do this. I used to just say, okay, I'm bulking up. Let's start eating 5,000 calories a day off the rip. Boom, immediately start gaining weight in a month, 2 months, like, Matt. But after 3 months, I was eating way too fucking much. I totally stressed out my system, and then I'm just plateaued. I've stayed in a plateaued state at the end of a bulking phase for like 3 months in the past, which is really just a waste of time. I could have started dieting down right after I hit that plateau for a few weeks and then started bulking up again and be ahead of the game, you know? So what I'm trying to say there is there's a sweet spot where you're eating enough to be growing, but you're not eating so much extra calories that you can't make use of it, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking there, so wherever that line is, stick to it. And it's definitely going to be in your best interest to add some cardio. All right, if you've got cardio in the mix when you're bulking up, that's going to help negate some of that extra fat gain as well. So not necessarily the most fun tip, like it's not a secret, but that is going to help you. High Rev with 2 V's. Let's keep scrolling here. Noisy28K27 asks, what's my favorite series? Series of what? But let's assume it's like, anime or a show or something. In terms of real life shows, probably Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is up there. Better Call Saul too, but that's kind of like a sidekick thing because the two go hand in hand. But that's probably the best show that I've watched. I think I've rewatched it like 5 times by now. That's over the course of years, but still, like, flawless doesn't seem like a crazy description. But in terms of actual anime, I don't know. I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen a ton of them. Is it Dandadan? That's getting a little interesting. I keep seeing clips. I might tune in. But Berserk, that's up there. Tokyo Ghoul was pretty cool. You got to read it though. And then what else? Obviously One Piece. A little on the longer side. It doesn't get as much love, but One Piece is up there for sure. I'm in the middle of a bulking journey. Flynn Bean. I'm not going to answer 2 of your questions. Come on. Sorry, but well, I already answered it. Whatever, or I already started. I'm in the middle of a bulking journey, 15 by the way, and I've consistently lifted for a little over a year. I've got a decent amount of muscle, but fat is there. Should I keep bulking, maintain for a bit, or cut down? I would say maybe don't like try to eat in a crazy calorie surplus. Hit your protein goals. So did he say his weight? Well, however much you weigh, I would say eat that many grams of protein per day. And then, eat enough food where you're not gaining weight super fast or losing weight, of course. Like you want to be at least close to maintenance. And then if you add cardio, frankly, year one, recomp, like a body recomp, building muscle and burning fat at the same time, I think you've still got some room, right? Now, obviously, you can't recomp much deeper into your lifting journey. You kind of have to specifically bulk up or cut down. But I'd say add some cardio, keep the intensity up. Make sure you eat enough food to stay, well fueled and recovered, and then just keep lifting, right? If all those things are in place and you just work out hard for the next 6 months, your numbers are going to change, right? The scale should have gone up, and you'll probably look a bit leaner. And even if you don't look, or even if you haven't lost like pounds of body fat, simply by building muscle, you're going to change that proportion, right? I could have as much like pinchable body fat on my stomach right now as somebody who is 160 pounds, and they would look much softer than me because technically their body fat percentage would be higher because they have less muscle mass weight counteracting it. So frankly, I just say keep going hard and you're probably good. Who would win in a bench off, you or Prime Meowskulls? Says Jason Strand. Well, I don't know who Prime Meowskulls is, or I guess Meowskulls is, so I guess that's up in the air, right? Will I ever hire a cameraman or someone to edit and increase the production value of these videos? Love the videos nonetheless, and thanks for the inspiration, says Eddie Mac 3827. Yeah, not like for all the time though. I mean, for these lifts, there's no reason to overcomplicate it by bringing somebody in to like record them, because it's so like, I mean, at this point for me, because I've done it, I think I'm getting close to 700 lifts that I've kind of recorded like this with the tripod and everything, and just getting out my in between set speaks. It comes off pretty easy, right? It's not so tricky. But whenever I end up doing some kind of collab with somebody where the tripod doesn't make as much sense, like it is kind of that's where you'll see more like, I'll have some kind of videographer dude, and maybe not even any, maybe not like a professional either. I've got some of my brother's friends are into the photography side of things, so they would know what they're doing behind the camera. But I mean, yeah, probably a little. I always try to tweak it. I make little, like, now we're using the real camera instead of the phone back in the earlier videos. But it's not that's not going to change the intensity of these workouts. Right? It's kind of a simpler the better kind of situation, I feel. Let's keep scrolling here. Let's get one more good one and then get out of here. Oh yeah, there it is. Carson LaFountain 2487 says, favorite Hunter x Hunter arc. Mine's the Phantom Troop arc. Now what is that is that even what that arc is called? The Phantom Troop is in all sorts of episodes, not just that one. But either way, my favorite arc? Oh, I don't know. They're all kind of cool. The Hunter exam was fucking cool. The Chimera ants is pretty fucking cool. This Succession War is getting really freaking cool. Now, I had to read that, but I was under the impression that Hunter x Hunter was way longer than it really is. Like, it took me, probably cumulatively, like 3 or 4 hours to catch up from the show, because there's only like 60 chapters after that. I thought it would be like 100 or so chapters. So I think the Succession War is gonna be my favorite, but that's probably just because it's newer and cool. But they're all good. Hunter x Hunter, definitely worth a freaking watch, or a few rewatches. I think I've seen it maybe twice by now. But yeah, I'll get some more of these kind of Q&As. What I really need to do is start posting. I think I'm going to start posting on the Instagram story, and then have you, have it so that you can post like a little video or something that I can kind of respond to, instead of just like reading comments. Like scroll through Instagram's hashtags of like, Ministry of Pumpedness 2024, or just whatever kind of random hashtag nobody's used before, and then scan for any Q&A posts, so that we can really have a back and forth audibly, in a way. But yeah, either way, I feel pretty satisfied with that pump. And now I gotta go home and freaking eat, man. I'm dying. So I'll just make the leg day, or this leg day, and then the full day of eating two separate things. I feel like it's too long if I make them each like together. But good lift. I am definitely feeling freaking hungry, so that's first up on my post-workout agenda now. Let's go get some food in my system. But until then, I will see you for chest tomorrow, which I am really freaking excited about. I might make a bit of a journey because I need some heavy dumbbells. I need some heavy dumbbells, and also I kind of want to go to some new gyms. Like, not that I don't have a problem going to the same gym on repeat, but it is fun going to different places, seeing different people, using different machines, and then, different gyms just have a different vibe. So tomorrow might be a lift somewhere I don't usually don't usually lift at. So let's just cut across traffic, not get hit, and then I'll see you then.